Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another video. Oh, it's only a few minutes since I wrapped up the last video, but since I've done that, I've been out shopping. It's now what? It's 10:37 p.m. Got all my evening chores done. Just got to have a shower and do my nighttime routine, which is becoming a staple in my new lifestyle. But I wanted to show you something that I've been working on this week, and that is, now I've got a clear case, so this is generally one of those that you hook your charms on. Okay, now this is one that I had off my daughter. This isn't one that I've made. I'm still in the process of making some of the charms that will fit perfectly with, what's my phone doing? Fit perfectly with these. I don't even know what they're called. However, this is just a practice one. Now, the initial one I made, it's got two sides with a sticker on, which is what the new design is going to have. But I didn't put an eyelet on it, and you can see where it's gone out of shape. Now, albeit this is a little bit heavier than what mine are, however, I still don't want to risk that happening with wear and tear and with time. So what I've done is I've just ordered some new eyelets. Now I'm hoping the ones I've got are a mix between the circles of flowers, butterflies and different things like that. If not, I'll use what I've got. So ultimately this design will come like that, with the same sticker on the back that will disguise the back of the eyelet, but you'll still get access to put your charms on. Now at the moment this one doesn't fit on here because the hole in the middle is too narrow. Now I've got fat fingers, so I've got to, so if you can see there's no way I'm going, oh, where are you? There's no way I'm going to fit another one through there. Okay, so that's why I wanted some eyelets that are bigger in the middle. So hopefully that's what I've ordered. We'll wait and see in a few days when I get here. So that was the test one. It held up well, but if that's going to happen after, I think I'll be using it about 2 weeks. So if that happens after 2 weeks, this is not going to last very long, and that's not good enough for me. If people can pay good money for something, that is not the quality I expect from myself. So that's the general shape of them. General shape, and that's the outcome of them. As I said, double-sided stickers. That's for this one. Now I am also making some of these, but instead of it being the rectangle shape, it's actually got into a different shape. Let me pull up. No, I haven't cut these yet. They're made of acetate, by the way, and the sticker on them is the regular high gloss premium sticker sheets that I use from Photo Paper Direct, and I absolutely swear by all of their paper products. I use those, my bookmarks, my magnetic bookmarks, all my stickers, sticker sheets, everything. Right, so I'm going to pull this up. Design this in Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to pull it up so I can show. I'm going to have to turn the screen around because I haven't sorted out my screen record yet, so it's fine, we'll work with it. So let me turn you around. Right, so they're designs I've come up with. Okay, so being a bulldog mama, I had to get two images in there. One that is so, the one with the paw, that one there, that is so Titan. Oops, that's so Titan, and that is very much Taylor. And then that one reminds me of Rolo, so I've done that one. And that reminds me of my brother's cat that I used to have. And I'm a writer, so I've done that one. Then I love anything retro, vintage, that kind of thing. And yeah, I'm a rainbow person. I've got to say it. So these are what I've come up with, and I'm also looking to do other designs. That's just the first few ones I've come up with as a was a quick thing. So I'm looking to come up with more designs. There's one of a dragon that I really like. I'm really wanting to do that. So that's on the next batch. By the time this video goes out, I'll have made it and probably have it listed on my website. So that's my new product for this week. Another one I've been working on. Now, I don't have one here because they're in the other room, and I really can't be able to go and get one. So at some point in this video, I'll pick it up and I'll go and show you. It's the mini wristlets. Now, I have been doing some regular sized ones, but I was talking to a lady in, oh goodness, where was I? Was I in Home Bargains? No, I was in Sainsbury's. I was talking to a lady in Sainsbury's, and she said, oh, I like your wristlet. Well, the one that I've got is from Megan at Fauna Rose. And if you don't know Megan, I'll leave a link below. And I have the matching scrunchie. And I want to get the entire set in the green pattern that I've got. I'll put a picture here of the ones I've got. And like I said, like, you know, a girl I watched on YouTube made it, you know, she's really clever, got loads of different styles in it. I really promoted a business for her. And she said, oh, would you mind writing the details down? I said, absolutely. So I've done that. And she said, I can't remember, the conversation went on. This was all while I was putting my shopping through and whatnot. And something else was said. Oh, that was it. She said, does she do the mini ones? I said, when you say mini, what do you call mini? She said, about half the size of that. I said, no, but I do. She said, oh, you make them as well? I said, it's something I'm working on. It'll be on my website by the end of the week. She said, oh my goodness, she said, let me have your website. She said, because that's something I've been looking for a while, but they're always the bigger ones. And I said, okay. And I said, do you mind if I ask, why a mini one? She said, because on her, she wants one. I've got mine on with my car key. I only ever keep one keychain and one key together. I never have multiple keys, and I never have my house and my car keys on the same keychain. And she said, I want to have, she's got keys for various things, and she got keys for 2 of her teenage children who, you know, they're in and out. They're like 19 and 21. They're in and out. So she wants to colour code the keys, including the keys for a caravan, for a shed. And she said, so I just want a few of the smaller ones so I can just colour code them and I know what's what and who, you know, who's out and all this stuff. And she said, so if you do those, she says, you know, do you have a selection of colours? I said, no, but I can do a selection of colours. I said, by the end of the week, I don't know what I'm going to make, but I can be aware that there's somebody wanting a selection of colours and designs and whatnot. And she said, oh, if you don't mind, that'd be wonderful. So that's brought in me doing the smaller ones. And that's how they come about, basically. So that was quite amusing. It's amazing how you get, now can I just say, it looks like my underwear is dirty. It's not, it's grey. It's a silver grey. And I'm feeling really conscious of it on this video, because I don't know if it looks on video how it looks to me, but when I looked at it in person, I could see the silver grey on it. It's making me very self-conscious. Anyway, I apologise for that. So let me just take a drink. So earlier I repotted some tomato plants, and I get given some every single year. And this year they wasn't ready to be repotted, and I kept putting it off. And then eventually, when they needed repotting, I remembered that I can't find my bigger pots, and I kept forgetting to pick them up when I was out. So eventually, yesterday, day before when I was out, I remembered to pick some pots up. And I kept putting it off. And eventually this morning, I thought, get these tomatoes potted. They're going to die. It's going to be a shame, and you're going to kick yourself. So I repotted everything. And then you know how it goes. And I am notorious for doing this. I'll think, right, I've done that. I'm just going to go and have a quick shower, get some fresh clothes on, and I'll be back down and I'll do some other jobs I want to get done. So I went into the living room to go to the stairs, and I ended up straightening up the sofa. I ended up opening another window, turning the fan on and putting it on oscillators it for the dogs. And then I was messing about with something else. Then the dogs wanted to fuss, so I was playing about with the dogs for a minute. And then the door went, so I answered the door, took a delivery, got chatting with a neighbour who was outside. Then I come in, I thought, what was I going to do? So I opened my packages, thought, okay. Nothing exciting, just a new charger for my Shark Hoover and some door locks that I'd ordered. And so I thought, oh, go and put the shark on charge. So I went and done that. Then I needed to put the box in the recycling. So I thought, oh, just take all the recycling out, get it all done in one go. So ultimately, before I even got to the foot of the stairs, I'd got about 16,000 other things done. So I went upstairs. I thought, oh, that needs wiping. I'll grab a cloth out of the bathroom. So I went in the bathroom to grab the spray and a cloth. And then I noticed that I hadn't put my washing stuff away from the night before when I had a shower. So I thought, put it all away, walk around off yourself, Deb, stop being lazy. So I'd done that. Then I decided I hadn't cleaned the toilet for a few days. Okay, it's only me here, but I still hadn't cleaned the toilet for a few days. So I cleaned the toilet. Well, you might as well clean the sink of the bath while you're here. So I'd done that. Then I thought, okay, you might as well clean the side panel of the bath. So I'd done that around the sink cupboard. And so ultimately I got a very, very clean bathroom, and I only went in to get a cloth and a spray. Still didn't clean this one part of the shelf that I'd noticed got a particular mark on that was irritating me, so I come up the stairs and I could see it. So then, what did I do? I'll come in here to turn the computer on and put my, what do you call it? Dehumidifier. Put some water in that, turn it on, ready for when I was going to come in here and do a little bit of work. So then I realised that my recycle box needed emptying. So I took that out, put it on the landing. I thought, right, that can go in a black bag. I always put, because it fills black bag, I put a label on it for the bin men that they know that it's recycling, not rubbish. And they kind of expect that with me now. They're really good. And then I got something stuck on the bottom of the box. Now, the box I use for my recycling is a laundry hamper. So it's fabric. And I don't like it getting dirty because I can't really clean it. So I'm really careful with what goes in there. Plus, it's only paper recycling and cardboard. But I think one of the grandkids may have put something in thinking it was a regular bin. Not a problem. So I'll give that a bit of a scrub as well. Then I thought, well, I've got the scrubbing brush out. I might as well go and do. So you see how I go in circles when all I wanted to do was go and have a quick shower and get dressed. Now, today, I wasn't planning on going out today at all. And so I thought, just stick some shorts on and a vest top. No, you're not expecting anyone. You're not going out. You've only got stuff to do in the house anyway. So go, stay cool. That's what they know. It's such a simple plan. So ultimately, I got so many jobs done that were not on my list. I did not even need to make it to a list. That when I looked at my list, there was nothing I could cross off. There was nothing I could cross off other than repot the tomatoes. That's why my fingers are dirty. That's what I'm trying to get at. My fingers are dirty because I've repotted my tomato plants. But being honest to that, it's probably not just my tomato plants that's caused this. I have washed my hands, but it's not just. So, let me know if you are like me and you start on one thing and you do 55,000 others before you get to the one thing you went to do. Then you get to it and you think, I might as well wait till later. We're not going to enjoy being nice, clean and fresh when I go to bed in some nice, clean, fresh pyjamas and nice, clean, fresh bedding. So I'm still not had a shower. I've still not washed my hair. I've still not done my skincare routine. I've still not made my bed up. But I do have a nice clean bathroom, a nice clean recycling bin, a nice clean shelf that nobody else would have noticed. And I've still forgot to close those two windows in the living room, so I'm going to go back downstairs and do that. Clean the heads on that one, but that's how the black ones have come out. I'm not very happy with it. Oh, they look fine on there, but it's actually grey and he's got lines on it, so I'm not happy with it. They have to be redone. Then I got my Tailor and Tighten, and I'll just cut out the other ones that I showed you earlier. So I've done some hearts as well. That's one with some scissors on for people who like sewing or crafting. I mean, you don't use scissors for anything really. So I've cut those out. I'm just cutting out the thing to go with them. Then I have to remember, right, that's the one for the typewriter. So that'll be the typewriter. I need to cut the stickers in reverse. I haven't done that yet. So let me do this. Like but this has come out really good. I'm really happy with the way this looks. So let me get rid of that sheet. Hide the selector. Go back to the first one. And then I need to mirror it. So That's now mirrored, so I'm going to print that off, send to the printer, no bleed, print, anytime you want. That'll give me, I mean this one doesn't really matter if it's reversed or not, but say most of the others will. I mean that obviously needs reversing, same as Taylor and Titan and the quote I've got. So I'm happy with that. Now this is just still test run. That's the thing when you work with something to see through and your eyes are not exactly working properly. You get a bit confused, but it's fine, I'll get there in the end. Right, so that is the motorhome. I've had to cut these on. I've had to use the frame of the stickers for the markers, for the cricket markers, and a bit of a bummer really, but I'll figure it out. Right, so that's that one. If you ever cut, if you're a crafter of any form and you ever cut out acetate, it needs 2 to 3 passes. Is that one? No. There's not many more it can be. Oh no, that's the Dachshund one that I need to redo. Right, let's get the sticker sheet. Oh, I'll do that in just a second. I need to take these off. Right, that's the rainbow. So that's that one. Then we've got the cat. But see how awesome that comes out. It's so nice. I'm really looking forward to seeing these when they're all put together and ready to be used. Then we've got the heart. We've got, that's tight, so I can tell that by the outlook. Then we've got the flower, and there we have the quote. That's all of them now. Yeah. Right, so I'll take this off. I picked up these mats last week from Hobbycraft. They're so much better than the Cricket and other popular brands, or any brand. I mean, I've tried them all, but they're so much better. The flexibility of them doesn't snap when you bend to get them off. So to me that's impressive. But also the sticky seems to be lasting longer as well. So now that's, even though that's a plastic, it's not recyclable. I don't know why. Might be meant to say it's not recyclable. So I'm going to figure out what to do with it, because I'm not happy just to that to landfill. So I'm so excited about these. I've got so many ideas, but that's the quote one I've got, and I just think these are amazing. Let me get my phone case. Where have I put it? In the drawer. Now, bear in mind these are not stuck together, so that's what it looks like on my phone case. Now, because I've got my holder thing quite low down, on mine I couldn't make them too big, but with, let me just look. Yeah, say with Taylor or Titan, my thing would be in the way. So this would all depend on, you know, what your, you know, how far your thing is down on your case, or even if you have one. I mean, that's pretty solid on there. That's not going to come off. So when I replace this, which will be soon because it's going a bit yellow, I should get another clear one, because I love having, because my phone's blue at the back, and that's one of my favourite colours. And so when two of my boys bought me this phone, they chose the blue, and if they'd got the pink, they would have got me the pink. And I like to show that. I like to look at that myself. That's not for anyone else to say, I don't really care, but I like to see that blue. And so that's why I chose a see-through case. Well, when I saw my daughter's charm thing, and she has a coloured case or a pattern case, so you don't see anything like this. You only see, inside of hers, just a plain one of these and one of these. And she said, oh, you could make those so easy, Mum. I said, you know what, I actually could. And I like the idea that I could personalise these. For example, one of the designs I've come up with matches my kawaii collection. Unintentional, but it's a design I've got. It's done. I had it from Creative Fabrica, and it's license free. So I created the sticker sheet, traditional bookmark, regular bookmark, some stickers. Now I've got one of these foam thingy what's it in it, and I'm toying with the idea of actually doing a notebook in that, because I think it's such a pretty cool design, and so I'm liking that idea. So that's, as I say, I've got so many ideas on these, and I suppose really you could have it so the sticker is at the back, but then I'd have to print these back to front. I'd have to print on the back of the sticker paper. I don't know, but I mean, you could do it, I suppose, without the sticker, and then just put it to the back as is like that. So you've got that on the outside. Doesn't really make much difference in all honesty, but I do think they look really cute. So let me, I've just made a boo-boo. I've printed it, but I haven't printed it in reverse. I don't know if you can see where the cuts are. The cuts are in reverse. What a moron. So let's go back to print. Right. Ah, now it's printed it back to front. So let me empty this. Yeah, I started saying I was up. In one of my previous videos, I mentioned that I have this lump at the side of my butt, at the lower part of my spine, and I went back to the GP with it last week, and she examined me after you know, I went through seeing physio. I mentioned it to Siobhan. She said it's nothing skeletal or muscular, so we need to get your GP to have a look, possibly send you for an X-ray or an MRI or something if she thinks that's the right route. So I made an appointment to go back and see my GP. She examined me and she said, now bear in mind, my mum had bowel cancer for 14 years, and ultimately it was the lung cancer that took her life, and she'd had that for probably about 2 years, maybe just under. And let me just sort this out. And so I was probably a little bit paranoid, and so she checked me out and everything. We asked questions, went through, my certain habits and whatnot, and then she said, I think you might be glad to know that there's nothing untoward going on. Your blood tests have come back fine. In fact, your bloods are perfect, which is great for me. I'll talk about my bloods in another video, and it's great for me. And she said your blood pressure is perfect, which again is unusual but great for me. She said your rheumatology factor is coming down, which is really great. It's not where we want it to be, but it's a lot better than it ever has been, which I'm taking as a win. She said, your iron is perfect, your iron reserves is perfect, which again is a big thing for me. She said, the white blood cells are perfect. Again, that's another issue for me. And so everything was a win. So there's no issues anywhere. She said, however, I think I've just identified your problem. And I said, go on. She said, you're very, very bunged up. Well, me being me and having no airs of grace, I said, so basically I'm full of crap. She laughed. And she said, well, I can't speak personally, but physically, yes, you are. And so I did laugh, and then I cried with relief. Because she knows my mum had just died. She knows what my mum was struggling with, because she's the one that put me on the yearly fecal test. And she calls me probably once a year, independent of everything, just to check that there's been no changes in when I go to the bathroom. But here we are. You have to laugh. You have to just see the humour in things when you can. These are nearly cut, and hopefully I've got it right this time. I found, see, I shouldn't be given anything that's got any spec or anything, because I never figure it out. I've had my car nearly 3 years. It took Charlie to figure out a couple of months ago that I've got cruise control and I've got something else. I had no idea. I've just figured out, I've had this phone since December, I've just figured out that on one of the settings, the phone will follow me and it'll zoom in and out appropriately. And I'm currently sat you on one of those 360 devices, which was a waste of money. I didn't need to buy it. So my phone does it automatically. So if you see me moving, it's not anything that I've bought, it's literally just something on my phone. And yet I don't know how I've done it. I wouldn't know what I'm looking at if it jumped out and hit me on the nose. So I make my kids roll their eyes. No wonder, you know, that they dread me asking anything technical. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of things I can do tech related. You know, on the computer I was self-taught since computers first come out. Well, not since they first come out, but since they first come out publicly and the internet became a thing. And I've learned an awful lot along the way, but there's some of the things of recent years, I'm like, I don't keep up with myself. You know, so, so I kind of, you know, annoy my kids. Anyway, moving on. That's the one with the unicorn, and that's the other side. Move my fingers. So now they mirror, and I've done it. I've colour matched the tab at the bottom with the pink in the hair. So then, although I'm not going to stick this together, I am going to make a hole in it. Now, I did buy well, I thought it was a hole punch, and yes, it is a hole punch, but I had no idea that this hole punch is actually, make sure I get this about straight, a heart shape. So when let me get my things out, when the eyelet goes in here, oh, there's a nice pink one. Right, so thankfully the eyelet will fit in, it won't be damaged. Now, I don't know where I've put my eyelet thingy, what's it, so I'm going to stretch it out and then I'll bang it down in place, or I will use my jewellery making pliers to flatten it. Right, I just need to give it a bit of something. Right. Oh, there we go. It's not the neatest, because these are really just as I say, they're samples, so I can see how each one's going to work. Now this one, as nice as it is not going to work because this hole is too small for two. Now I haven't added the stickers either, right? So, and I've kind of gone offside with the sticker a bit, you can see there. But at the back you can see, now what I'm hoping is when the new eyelets come, because you see how that's a flower eyelet, if you can barely tell there, that's what I wanted in different colours. Is a flower or a butterfly or something like that. I mean, I do have other shapes. I mean, I've got aeroplane. You know, I've got all kinds in here. But they're not really what I'm looking for. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I'm trying to put one of these on. Right, there we go. So unless I put one of those on, which means I would have to punch the hole further down, so it's got a little, even though it wobbles a bit there, gives a bit, I need to get another. Right, let me just tighten this up a bit. If I put it on properly, as though like it's meant to be, then it'll be easier to show you. Right, so that's on properly now. So then what I could do is do I want a smaller ring? Yeah, I think that would work well. Come on. Right, so if I then put a smaller ring on there. Right, okay, I've got a solution. So if I put that on there, like that, that means then that the charms that I'll be making, that will be the end clasp for it. So if I put that so it clips on. I'm all fingers and thumbs. So if I put it so it all connects together like that, that looks a bit cool, don't you think? So let me put this on my phone. Well, in my case, because I'm recording on my phone. And let me see how that looks. Right, so now bear in mind this isn't going to fit properly on my phone because I've got my butterfly there. So that's how it's going to be. And then you'll have the length of the, I'm going to have to keep drawing back to this because the one I made, the sample key thing, charm thing, bead thing I made is actually downstairs. I was showing my neighbour earlier. So if that's going to hang something like that. Yeah, so, and that should be quite enough then. I mean, I've got a fat hand, so my hand is not going to go through this. But I know some people do like to have them through their wrist and then they hold the phone. So if you imagine that, that's going to be pretty cute, don't you think? So that's the unicorn one. I'm really, really happy with that actually. My niece is going to absolutely love this. This one. What do you call it? Oh my gosh, what's it called? Give me a word. Rainbow. So I'm possibly give her an updated version of that and that, because she calls me Auntie Unicorn and she loves anything like this. So two of those will be going to Violet, and I'm just thinking now, because for me this is really exciting, having a new product, because I haven't released any new products. I've released new designs, like there's a huge amount of sticker sheets gone up on my website recently, and I've just put those on a flash sale. And by the time you're watching this, it'll still be on a flash sale. But I'm taking it down in a few days because I've got a lot more products to put on, and I'm working through the different sections, such as the bookmarks, the notepads, and blah de blah de blah. So yeah, I shall sort out my printer with the black cat and the black dog, but the rest of these are just, I'm just absolutely loving them. So let me just pick all these up, because that's gotta go in my to-do tray. I have a little tray. Where have I put it? I have a little tray somewhere, and I put things in of my things to do. So I actually get around to finishing things, because otherwise I'd be awful. So that's a job to do when I can sit down and do more, get these done properly. I think I'm only going to do about 20 designs for the first batch, purely because I'm still working through doing the photos for my other things, and because as I've mentioned in previous vlogs, at one point I took everything off my website and I'm redoing it with a nicer background, and let's just say it's taken its time, and it doesn't make me happy with how much time it's taking. Editing is fine because I use the photo I use the photo editing app just to brighten it and give it more definition, make sure the colours are true to real life and that, and which literally just put it in, set it, use the setting that you've saved, and then you save it at that. Then I upload batches at a time to Shopify that I just go through each one as I want to start listing them. So that's that. So I'm going to call it quits now because it's 20 to 1 in the morning, so I'm going to go to bed. Okay, now for some reason the end of that video got lost in outer space because I've no idea where it is. I don't know why it only took certain parts of the video. So I didn't get to do an outro and I didn't get to show you the final product. However, as you may see, I'm in the midst of packing to move house, and I know very well that those items are packed away. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow, because it's now currently 11:47 p.m. the next day, and I'm going to make some new ones. I'm going to record it and I'll show you what the end is, but it won't be in this video unfortunately, because this video has gone on 16,000 hours, 42 minutes and 84 seconds. So sorry about that, but I hope you get the gist of what I was trying to show you, what I was creating. And if you would like a tutorial on how I make those products start to finish without me yappering on and giving stories, let me know and I'll do a specific tutorial, as detailed as I possibly can. They're very easy to make, they're very much fun to make, and I find the whole process of making those inserts for the phone and the charms to go on them is phenomenal. So as I kept mentioning through the video, my website, it is live, but I haven't updated anything for a while because I'm going through new photography equipment. So every product I've got is going to be re-photoed and edited with a whole different quality of photos. So if you're disappointed, I apologise. If you don't mind, I'm grateful, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a little like, and if you have any questions, please drop them down below. And on that note, I'm going to go, and I will be back in a few days' time with yet another video and an update on those keyring charms. Thanks for watching. Bye.